Hey, all, welcome to the GI Justin channel. I hope you're having an awesome day. Big news out of the state of Florida that could potentially have impact across a lot larger cross section of the United States, depending on how this bill plays out and its impact on small business in Florida due to tourism. So, Governor Ron DeSantis, who is known to have some interesting views when it comes to a lot of policy in Florida and perhaps a potential presidential run, is really trying, in my opinion, to solidify his base by creating some new laws that are a little bit more robust when it comes to the problems we have in the state of Florida. So he basically announced a new bill that he's signing into law that will basically make it a felony to transport or hide an illegal immigrant in the state of Florida, and then also require hospitals to report the immigration status of illegal aliens to the state, basically giving up their location so that the state of Florida can have them removed. Uh, Big news when it comes to this is the Florida Immigrant Coalition, as well as a group called Equality Florida and the Florida NAACP, are urging basically travel warnings saying not to come to the state of Florida. And the thing that's interesting about it is, along this same vein, we're starting to see a lot of people that are speaking negatively of Florida now from other states. And as a small business owner, especially one in a high tourist traffic area, I kind of have a little bit of concern with this as well, because what happens if the tourists stop coming here? Um, the influx of money that we see in the state of Florida over the months of, spring break starts basically first, second week of March through mid-September when summer ends. My sales in my store practically triple. And if people start deciding they don't want to come here, what's that going to do to me and all the other small businesses that rely on tourist dollars to supplement us in the other months of the year, like January, February, when we don't have a lot of people here? You can take, for instance, there's an interview I saw done with a tourist from North Carolina who was here in Florida saying, yeah, we've always thought Florida was a wide open and free state where anyone can live how they want to. And now it sounds like the state is going back in time 50 years. I think the thing that's troubling about that is, more than anything, and I've touched on this in a previous episode, but it's something I think that bears discussing again. We make the path to U.S. citizenship so difficult that most natural born Americans would have a really hard time doing it, between the cost of completing all the classes required and then taking the test. I think it's really a difficult thing for people who want to be Americans to become Americans, and I think we need a significant revamping of the entire system. Um, the path should be easier. A lot of these people want to be in America. They want to be Americans. They don't want to live in America on the run. And if we can give them an easier path to citizenship with a test that is a little more realistic, and I asked this before and I'll ask it again. Okay, so everybody in the room, as we sit here, 15th Amendment to the Constitution, which is on the test. Without looking, without cheating, do you know what the 15th Amendment to the Constitution is? It's on the test. You have to be an American. Answer's probably not. Probably not. So, just a small sample. And then, it costs people thousands upon thousands of dollars to become Americans. And a lot of these people are fleeing these poor countries that they come from. They want to be here. Why don't we come up with a way to fast track them to American citizenship? Make it a heck of a lot easier. Get them a job, classes to speak English. I think English proficiency might be a little bit more interesting than tracking them down like this. But, all these people are coming out and saying a lot of really strong things against this, especially some American citizens who've actually legally done so. Another interview I just looked at, this guy who's an African immigrant to the United States says, I'm very concerned that this bill that's being promoted by Governor DeSantis is going to harm not only immigrants, but the rest of the community in general. Where, look at it now, you've got people who may have accents that may come from other places, other countries, who now may find themselves in a position where they could face discrimination based on this bill. I think that is kind of, not necessarily what we want to be when it comes to a nation. And I don't know that it should be a felony to transport your family somewhere and hide them, in my personal opinion. I know it goes against a lot of the ideas that conservatives, like myself, who I would say I probably am, have, um, you know, I think no one chooses to escape where they come from. No one wants to look up one day and say, hey, where I am from is a nightmare and I don't want to be here. And I don't know, based on how I feel about our country, that America is the kind of place where we should be persecuting these particular things. Um, it seems to me that there's a possibility that this is done more, like I said, to come across as a way to solidify his political base and solidify his standing as a possible frontrunner for a shot at the presidency in a couple of years here. Um, it's it's interesting, if you kind of drill this all the way back to the beginning. You look back at the videos of Ellis Island from a million years ago, and not a million, where it's like, bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. Where have we gone from there? We've gotten away from that and gotten to bring me your documents and your money. Not a fan. And again, to drill it back to small business, if especially American citizens start seeing Florida as the kind of place that is persecuting people and not open to all. There are other states that have beautiful beaches too, and there's a possibility that we may find ourselves on the wrong end of that, and it would really be negative to me and other small business owners if that tourist money stops. So now this bill could potentially be hurting American citizens who do pay their taxes and pay a lot of taxes. So that's the biggest thing that I want to talk with you guys about today, and I really appreciate you guys coming on and commenting in the comment section, liking the videos. So that is super cool to me, and I'd love to discuss this with you guys because I think this is, again, a very complex topic, and I really have real concerns about where it's going to go in terms of if this becomes a law in Florida and other states who may follow suit and do the same. So the question I have, and it's more rhetorical, is it the America we want? I don't know. I personally, in a lot of ways, think we can do better. And I think, especially as a Floridian, I think we can do better there too. So thank you guys so much for watching. And, as always, I really appreciate your time. Have an awesome day.